What do you think about DC saying he would have already fought Tom?
I don't think much about it, but I really do want to fight Tom Aspinall. I just want to meet him here at Dirty Boxing.
So he has to come to a Dirty Boxing event for him to get the fight.
No, we'll fight here at Dirty Boxing.
You'll fight at Dirty Boxing. I like that. All right, John.
Dana White insists Jon Jones already shook hands on a record-smashing 8-figure payday for a unification bout. Yet instead of signing, the champ now says he'll fight only if interim wrecking machine Tom Aspinall first shows up ringside at Jones's fledgling Dirty Boxing Championship in Miami, leaving the richest matchup in years hostage to a ticket stub while 200,000 fans sign petitions. Daniel Cormier calls it quitting, and a frustrated Aspinall counts the days since his 60-second knockout win. It's money versus legacy, ego versus impatience, and the entire heavyweight division hanging on whether Bones chooses glory or one last chaotic power play. Dana White lit a fuse the moment he grabbed the mic. The UFC boss marched into the post-fight scrum wearing that sly, I know something grin, and dropped the grenade every heavyweight junkie has waited months to hear. Jon Jones agreed to do the fight. Deal offered. Deal accepted. Cameras clicked, jaws dropped, timelines detonated. White didn't flinch. He repeated himself. Once, twice, 3 times, brushing aside every rumor of pay disputes or cold feet. He even hinted the payday would dwarf Brock Lesnar's record haul, a number big enough to melt the frost off any negotiation.
What's the magic number to get you back?
If you come to Dirty Boxing, you'll find out tomorrow night.
John, what did you think of Francis being at the UFC tonight?
I think Francis is going to be at Dirty Boxing tomorrow night. So guys, make sure you guys come
Who would you
check it
prefer,
out.
Francis or Tom?
Whoever comes to Dirty Boxing.
So you're saying if Tom went to Dirty Boxing, you'd fight him?
Yes.
Hold up. What fight are we talking about? 48 hours after Dana's bombshell, cameras cornered Jon Jones in a Miami hotel lobby, coconut water in hand, promoting his new Dirty Boxing Championship. When a reporter blurted, "Thoughts on agreeing to face Aspinall?" Bones froze mid-sip, eyebrows climbing. "Is that what he said?" He replied, blinking like someone had swapped script.
He said that Jon agreed to fight Tom, yes?
Jon agreed to fight Tom?
Is that what you just said there? Before, like on the last answer, you said
Jon agreed to fight Tom, yes.
so he hasn't signed a contract,
Right.
right?
No triumphant grin, no media sound bite, just raw confusion. He claimed he hadn't watched the presser, hadn't spoken to the matchmakers, and, in classic Jones fashion, pivoted to a grin before strolling off. The clip hit X within minutes, and the narrative flipped on its head. Either the UFC's greatest communicator had missed a career-defining memo, or he was playing 5-dimensional chess with the promoter who taught the sport how to bluff. Fans dissected every second. His nervous laugh, the searching glance off camera, while pundits argued whether it was genuine ignorance or a masterclass in leverage. One thing was clear: the verbal contract Dana bragged about existed only in smoke, and the heavyweight fuse he lit now sputtered in the wind.
I mean, you guys have heard me for the last however long. I said, I guarantee you this fight's going to happen. This fight's going to happen. Fight's going to happen. You guys told me the crazy shit that was going on Instagram and all these other places. But yes, I've been saying Jon is going to fight Tom.
Follow the money. It screams louder than any press conference. Within hours of Jones's baffled lobby moment, leaks splashed across MMA insider feeds. The UFC had dangled a guaranteed $12 million purse, straight cash, no back-end guesswork, making it the richest single paycheck in company history and eclipsing Brock Lesnar's once mythical haul.
End up happening.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it since the beginning. And Jon Jones agreed to do the fight. So Jon Jones was offered the deal and accepted the deal.
Chael Sonnen swore his sources saw the paperwork. Joe Rogan's old rumor of a $30 million standoff suddenly looked like a smokescreen, masking a real, record-breaking offer already rubber-stamped by the suits. On podcasts and X Spaces, analysts crunched numbers. With pay-per-view points and sponsorship bumps, Jones could stroll out with north of 20 mil, all for 40-odd minutes of work if you count walkouts. Yet the champs camp went radio silent. No celebratory emojis, no "let's get paid" memes, leaving fans to wonder whether Bones had just been handed his personal Super Bowl bonus, and still hesitated, because if jaw-dropping cash can't lure him back into the octagon, what exactly will, and how long before the UFC's patience, and Aspinall's, turns from strategic waiting game into open revolt. Next, Jones lobbed a curveball so strange it made Twitter buffer. Instead of signing the 8-figure contract, the champ declared he'd only face Aspinall if the Brit bought a ringside ticket to Dirty Boxing Championship, the bare-knuckle adjacent promotion Jones co-owns with Mike Perry and the Kawa brothers. Reporters blinked, unsure whether they'd misheard. Bones doubled down, purring, "Show up Saturday and you'll get the number." In one breath, he shifted a UFC Mega Fights fate to a startup card tucked inside a Miami fairground.
Yeah. I'm over here sipping on coconut, talking about when you gon' fight.
The optics were bonkers. A legacy-defining bout hostage to a $49.99 seat and a souvenir wristband. Meanwhile, Dirty Boxing's own weigh-ins spiraled into chaos. An opponent hurled a slur, security intervened, and Jones looked like he'd rather teleport than babysit the circus he'd helped create. For fans, the ultimatum felt like pure troll energy. For Aspinall, it was a humiliating scavenger hunt. Yet by sundown, hashtags demanding "Send Tom to Miami" trended worldwide, proving that when Bones moves the goalposts, the entire sport sprints after them, confused, furious, but still hopelessly glued to the screen.
When are you fighting Tom?
I was waiting for it. When are you fighting Tom? Like, governor. The UFC, and Tom, we all got a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. They're one of the biggest organizations in sports, and right now Tom and I have agreed to
200,000 furious clicks just landed on Dana White's desk. A Change.org petition titled "Strip Jon Jones if he won't defend" erupted like a flash mob, mushrooming from 20,000 to 200,000 signatures in barely 9 days, powered by Reddit memes of Bones clutching "My Precious" and side-by-side clips of Aspinall's 60-second KO while the champ live streams coconut breaks in Phuket. White publicly brushed it off as silly, yet matchmakers felt the tremor. Sponsors started asking if the division was toxic, and ESPN ran a crawler framing Jones as the UFC's lone holdout.
Hey, how long you been here?
Yeah. One, two, wait, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, yeah.
Fans flooded social feeds with countdown timers. 800 days, one title defense, while diehards threatened pay-per-view blackouts unless the belt moves. Even casual viewers, usually numb to matchmaking politics, chimed in. How can a sport crown the baddest man alive when the throne's owner won't swing a fist? The revolt isn't binding, but optics matter. Each new signature tightens the vice on the UFC's brand, forcing executives to weigh a historic precedent: strip the GOAT, or risk a full-blown fan mutiny that could bleed into gate receipts and broadcast deals by year's end.
Good, man. Nice to meet you too. I'm gonna do this thing alone. I don't this part. I'm gonna do this thing. I would hope so. I would hope so. All the best. All the best.
Quick picture.
Sure.
Yeah?
Let's get it.
A face off.
No,
Just
no.
okay. No problem. No problem.
Daniel Cormier finally snapped, and the timing was lethal. On ESPN's desk, where he's usually the diplomat, DC flat-out torched Jones's stalling, starting with a dagger. If I were champ, Tom would already have my handshake, 1,000%. Then he dug deeper, dismantling Jones's flex about making critics' annual salaries in a week. Trust me, that number's not even close, but the heaviest blow landed when Cormier framed the situation in legacy terms. Retiring without fighting Aspinall isn't retiring, it's quitting.
Start fighting at an event, are we? Well, I hope not. It was good. It was all right, mate. I enjoyed it.
That was the first time you met him, wasn't it?
First time I met him. He's nowhere near as big as I thought. I thought he was a lot taller, but I guess when you're fighting light heavyweights for your full career.
Coming from the man who absorbed head kicks, chokes, and heartbreak at Jones's hands, the words cut through Twitter hot takes like a machete. DC painted Bones as a once-in-a-generation talent, flirting with an asterisk the size of a billboard. Duck the Younger bigger Brit, and every GOAT debate from bar stools to broadcast booths suddenly has fuel. The clip raced around timelines. Even casual fans felt the weight of a rival's reluctant eulogy. Cormier finished with a mic drop. Greatness means answering every call, leaving the MMA world staring at Jones and wondering if the phone will ever leave voicemail. Across the Atlantic, the man on the other end clenched his mouthguard.
Me as a boxing fan, I can hardly watch boxing anymore. I just think it's not like when a sport happens, it's two teams or two people fighting each other or whatever the sport might be. And the whole definition of sport.
Tom Aspinall is a caged dragon pacing the gym at dawn. For 11 grinding months, the interim champ has dutifully punched shadows, watching highlight reels of his own 60-second demolition of Curtis Blades, while the undisputed strap collects dust on Jones's mantle. Money, headlines, even the interim belt itself mean little. In podcast after podcast, he repeats the same raw confession, "I just love fighting, mate, and that's been taken away from me." Each interview chips at his composure, as reporters ask about negotiations he's not privy to, flights he hasn't booked, contracts he hasn't seen. Friends say the Brit keeps a US visa application half-filled on his phone in case he needs to crash Jones's dirty boxing show, ticket in hand, just to force the champ's bluff. Meanwhile, his sparring rounds have turned vicious, partners rotating like crash test dummies to soak up the frustration Jones's silence breeds. Every sunrise that passes without a signed date hardens Aspinall's resolve and sharpens the public narrative. Here's a prime heavyweight starving for violence while the belt holder debates optics, legacy, and side hustle optics. A contrast so stark it's turning neutral fans into outright activists.
I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think what it is being so good at what I do that it's just almost never enough. I'm very aware that, that the Tom Aspinall.
Now the roulette wheel of legacy starts its final spin. Jon Jones turns 38 next month, still undefeated in any official record, yet inching toward the reflex cliff every fighter eventually tumbles from. Facing Tom Aspinall means wagering that pristine résumé against a younger, heavier knockout artist who needs one clean punch to etch an asterisk on a decade-long reign. Walking away now preserves the myth, but invites endless bar-stool accusations of ducking the future. Piled atop the $12 million carrot are two conflicting ghosts: Anderson Silva's late career stumbles, cautionary tales of legends who risk too much, and Georges St-Pierre's perfect exit, the seductive promise of retiring untarnished. Coaches whisper, Jones still craves a capstone moment that eclipses even his light heavyweight prime, but inner circles also concede he's never been more brand savvy, calculating every move like a hedge fund manager, guarding generational wealth. With fan petitions roaring, Cormier's rebuke echoing, and Aspinall's patience calcifying into menace, the heavyweight division now waits on one decision. Does Bones chase a crown-solidifying clash, or cash in his chips before the house lights shift from legend to could have been?
That's how I feel about that. We fought them all. I can tell you guys on good authority, if I was still fighting today, and I was still the heavyweight champion, and Tom Aspinall was the #1 contender, I would have already.
So here we stand, an 8-figure contract unsigned, a dragon pacing in Manchester, 200,000 signatures screaming online, and the greatest fighter of a generation gambling his legend on a ticket stub. Ask yourself, when history looks back, will Jon Jones be remembered for defending every inch of his empire, or for walking away while the future pounded on the castle gate? And if you were in his shoes, would you risk immortality against Tom Aspinall's thunder, or close the book before the last and loudest chapter is written?